Hello, good afternoon. I hope you are all well and enjoying some lovely weather. We've had a fantastic week here with the sunshine. I think it was sunny last Friday as well, so we've been really lucky. But we've had thunderstorms, so I'm hoping to get this hour over and done with before we get a huge thunderstorm again, because we had a massive one this morning. I was like, please, power, don't go out. So hopefully you're all keeping well and dry and in the sunshine. Now, we have an amazing brand new product to show you today. We have demonstrations from both myself and from the lovely Elizabeth Hogarth, who has sent in a video for us to watch as well, exclusively for us. So I'm looking forward to showing you that. We have as well £235 worth of prizes to give away. Now, there's a few different ways you can win. So earlier in the week, you may have seen that we put up a Facebook post that's on the CraftStash Facebook page. So with this one, if you comment on there, you are in the hat to win, and I will announce that winner at the end of the show. So there's some products for you. Then there's 3 more chances to win by commenting on this live video. Now, we are going out on CraftWorld, of course. We are going out also on the CraftStash Facebook page, but also other Facebook pages as well. So we are going to pull together all those comments, pick 3 winners, and all of you will be winning a selection of these brand new Craft Consortium products. Now, the 5th, I always count this up wrong, don't I? The 5th chance to win is over on CraftWorld. Now, that won't be available until at the end of the show, so I will give you the details again at the end, but that's a huge prize. I'm actually going to show you some of the other products that you can win in that competition, so stay tuned to the end of the hour to hear all of that. Now, as usual, we do have some discounts and we have some amazing offers for you that I'm going to go throughout the hour. As you can see, scrolling along the bottom here, we have all sorts of different offers. So at the moment, we've got 10% off Craft Consortium. These are all the previous things like paper pads and such, but you don't need a code for that, so you don't need to remember anything. Now, very often I give you deals, I give you offers and things throughout these Friday CraftWorld lives, and I know it's a lot to take in. So you can always go over to the CraftStash page, and there's a section there just for everything that I'm mentioning throughout this live. That's going to be in the bargain section, so just scroll into bargains, have a look down, and there's a bit that says this week's CraftWorld Live. You'll find everything that I'm talking about, including this brand new collection. Now, I'm going to give you a very quick overview. We'll have a look at this demonstration from Elizabeth, and then we'll come back and go in more detail with everything, because I really want to show you straight away what you can be making with it, because it is absolutely stunning. So let's have a look down here. Look at this. Okay, we are at home in the Wildflowers. They are stunning images. Straight away, this is beautiful. Now, I live in the countryside, so this is absolutely right up my street. I'm sure it is for everyone else at home as well. So let me just actually, while you're just admiring this view, I'm just going to get my phone, have a quick hello to people, because I really do appreciate all of your comments. So there's some people that I see every week, and some new names as well, actually. So we have Sue, we have Benita, we have Michaela, Deborah, Lynn, Kate, Jules, we have Claire Lou, we have Shelley, Jill, another Sue. Is it another Sue? I think it's, yes, it's a different Sue. Just had to check your last names. Jill also has, has no thunderstorms at the moment, and Sue is nice and hot and sunny in Kent. So send the thunderstorms to the Midlands. You love them. I love a thunderstorm as well. And you know what? With papers like this, you'd want to be in crafting, wouldn't you? So hello to everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. You don't need to comment anything in particular to have a chance of winning a selection of these products today. Just comment. Just tell me where you're from, where you're watching from, whereabouts in the country, whereabouts in the world. We do get people overseas as well, which is really exciting. So a lot of you seem to be in England at the moment. There's people from Scotland. Hello from Scotland. Dark skied and storms are looming. Lovely. It does clear the air though, doesn't it? So let's have a quick flick through these products. Okay, so papers first. Now, Craft Consortium, we know that they do the most amazing papers, and it's not only the print that you get with these, is it? I have cut into these ones, by the way. It's also the quality of them. We get different looks and styles. Now, as I'm doing that, can you see the light hitting those flowers? That is glossy on those flowers. I would absolutely be cutting this out as a frame for either a beautiful photo to go in a frame or maybe even a scrapbook page if that's what you do. And then on the inside, they don't waste a single thing. Look at the inside cover. Everything is there. It actually says here, additional topper elephants. There's no elephants. Elements. Additional topper elements for you to cut out, for you to fussy cut and use as well. Like I say, nothing is wasted. Now, the beauty of Craft Consortium papers is the finish. So we've got double-sided papers. Look at this. Isn't that absolutely stunning? You've got those florals, you've got those bees in there as well. As I turn this over and we have a look at the other side, I'm actually going to pull this out because I want to be able to hold this up to the light and show you. Let me find the best way of doing that. Now there we go. Now, can you just see that gloss that's on those ferns? The paper is matte, okay, so this white paper behind is matte. These ferns are glossy. You can just catch them there. It's like they're clear embossed already for you. Now, all of the papers with Craft Consortium, you get 4 of each sheet here. So all of the papers have this special finish of one type or another. Now, with this one, we've got the gorgeous butterflies, and then we've got this like pearlescent. Again, it's really hard to show you. You need to see it yourself, but we have this gorgeous pearlescent finish. Now I'm going to go through this in more detail in a little while, very quickly. So we've got the 12 by 12 papers. We also have the beautiful 6 by 6 papers. Again, we have these finishes on them. We have that pearlescent there as well. We have gorgeous florals. We have the insects. We've even got snails in there as well. Perfect for a country garden and beautiful, beautiful colours. Then we have 2 stamp sets. So we have this one that has the birds, the butterflies, the caterpillars and the bees. Do you see, I was really careful about not saying birds and bees together there, but I've done it now. And then we have the florals, which is equally as beautiful. And of course, all the imagery matches up with the paper, so everything coordinates. We have beautiful enamel dots. These are self-adhesive and all the colourways that match perfectly again with the papers. And then we have the washi tape as well. I love washi tape. I will be taking this out later and showing you some of this as well and exactly what it looks like, because I appreciate it's hard on the roll to see what the images are. But we've got like daisies in this one. We've got these little pink flowers in here, and then we have the bumblebees on this one. Bumblebees are a firm favourite with a lot of crafters. So shall we jump straight in to a demonstration? I know it's really early. I usually ramble on for a long time, but I want to get reading some of your comments while we look at this demonstration from Elizabeth. So Elizabeth is on the design team for Craft Consortium, and she has put together this demonstration. And keep watching to the end as well. You're going to, because I'm going to play it till the end. There's some beautiful examples of other cards that you can be making with this collection as well. So take a look at this.
Hello everyone, I am Elizabeth Hogarth and I am part of the Craft Consortium design team. Today I would like to show you how to make a card using the beautiful new papers called At Home in the Wildflowers. They have been designed in collaboration with Katie Putt, and I have been lucky enough to work through them. Today I would like to show you how to make a diamond easel card using the beautiful papers. It's fairly straightforward to make, and I'll try and give you the dimensions as I go along, but it is incorporating 2 of the die sets that are also being released by Craft Consortium from their Dynamics range. So you can see that it matches the papers beautifully. Take a 6-inch by 12-inch piece of card and using a scoreboard or a guillotine, score at the 6-inch mark and again at the 3-inch mark. You're going to fold these 2 carefully using a bone folder. But first we need to create the diamond. So again, mark the top of the piece of paper near the 3-inch fold. At the 3-inch mark, you can see that I'm doing it here with a white pencil, so hopefully it will show up. And then marking where this 3-inch fold line is, and all you're going to do is to cut from those marks that you've made from the 3" in the middle to the 3" at the fold. So use the marks that you've made to line it up on your guillotine. This part might take a little time, but it's worth doing carefully. So cut these away. So you're going to cut away 2 triangles, and again line up the marks on your guillotine and then cut away that triangle. Fold the card at the 6" mark and fold carefully, and then all you're going to do is you can either mark with a pencil the diagonal lines across, and you want to cut these again on your guillotine. I did this part by eye, so line it up as you did before and then cut away those 2 small triangles, and hopefully that will leave you with a diamond shaped card. To decorate the card base, you're going to need to pick one of these sheets of paper. I've used one of the pearlized floral pages, and the beauty of them is they are double-sided. So you will need 2 mats here that are 4" square, and they form the diagonals. Then you need the 5 3/4 by the 2 3/4 pieces that will become the sentiment areas, so they will go on the front and the back, so everything coordinates beautifully together. And then you will take 1 square that is 2 3/4 inches and simply use your cutter to cut it down the diagonal, and these will form the background to the diagonal square. I'm going to go ahead and stick all the parts on the card. The card is coming along nicely now, and the diamond is beginning to take shape. Possibly add some more papers here to fill in all the black areas, but for the purpose of today's card, I'll carry on as we are. One thing to quickly mention is that when you come to stick the diamonds on the top, only add glue to the triangle at the base, otherwise the card won't fold as you would like. We're ready now to add our toppers and our stoppers. So I'm using Craft Consortium's brand new premium cutting dies from the Dynamics range. They're beautifully packaged. The sentiment die is Live, Laugh, Love, and the square die is the iron square. So let's look at the sentiment dies first. So you've got 3 within there, so the circle is very good for frames, and then these sentiment dies here, you've got a mat and the words themselves. Then this is the iron square that some of you may have remembered I used in a card for the cottage garden, recently released by Craft Consortium. It really is a high quality product and it's very easy to cut with. In this case I'm going to use the inner 2 squares for another matten layer for the centre of the diamond. I'm going to use some black and gold card for the layers, so the base is going to be in the black card, and then I've got some fairly thick gold glitter card to give the sentiment a little bit of bling. So my top tip is to mark where the 2 tops of the dies are, and then this will help you layer up correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut through each one of the dies. Our die cut sentiments and toppers are now ready. I did actually cut out 2 of the gold Live, Laugh, Loves because I wanted to use this as a stopper, and you'll see when I put the card together that if you place it in the right letter, the diamond on your card will hold in place. So it's a little bit of a different way of adding a topper to hold the card up. So plenty of glue, but don't stick the card down directly because you need to have a little bit of wiggle room in order to find out what letter to stick the corner of your card in. So there you go, just holding in place. Next we're going to work on the front of our card. So again, I cut a gold and a black mat in reverse this time, and I decided to raise it up a little bit with some sticky pads. So I'll just attach these to the back. And add the square centrally to the diamond. I then decided that I wanted to incorporate one of the wildlife creatures, and I had options at this stage, so I went back to the paper pad, and you can even cut the front of the paper pad, but I would find that quite hard. But all of these elements can be used within your project, or indeed you can use the stamps. These work perfectly, but for this particular card I wanted a slightly bigger image, so I used one of the insects on the back, but every single one of these elements can be used. So I used a blackbird in the first card, and in my second card I decided to cut out one of the beautiful bees. So here's my bee, and I cut it out, and then I added some glossy accents to the wings and some gold stickles to the main part of the body, and then it was just a matter of sticking it centrally to the diamond and finishing off the card. Here are my 2 finished diamond easel cards. I think they work very well. So there's the one with the blackbird, and you can lie them flat for posting. So here's a close-up of the beautiful bee, and I think you'll find that everything works perfectly together. So I hope you enjoyed my tutorial.
Isn't that absolutely beautiful? And she makes it look so easy as well. So I have heard that CraftWorld at the moment are having some technical problems. So thankfully a lot of you have joined us over from CraftWorld. But if that's the way that you tend to prefer to watch, we will be posting it on CraftWorld later. So we do apologise. We've got people running around. What is this term where people are like ducks with the feet under the water? They're doing that at the moment. They're desperately trying to get everything fixed for you. We also post this video up onto YouTube as well, so if that's one platform that you like to go on to watch, you can absolutely catch up there later as well. Of course, you kind of need to be in it to win it at the moment for these live comments, because we've got 3 bundles of the brand new Craft Consortium to give away. So hopefully we'll get that up and running soon, but please do comment on this Facebook down below if you can, to get in for that chance of winning. So let's have another closer look at these products now. So these are absolutely stunning, aren't they? As you can see, so Elizabeth, she used the papers. She used, I think she used some dies. Now I did check, these dies are on the CraftStash website. Now you will have to check this with me. Yesterday they were on offer as well. So if you love that die, that Live, Laugh, Love, I think that's the right way. Live, laugh, love. And other dies, they are on there. So do take a look at those. And don't forget, over on CraftStash at the moment, we have got 10% off previous collections of Craft Consortium. And you don't need to remember a code as well. There you go. The bar across the bottom tells it. So that must be true. No code required. So make sure you're popping them into your basket quickly while that offer is still running. So let's have another look at some of these papers we didn't look at earlier. Now the papers are, I think Lynn asked this, the weight of them, they are 150 GSM. In all honesty, I feel like they're thicker. They feel ever so thick to me. They're classed as a paper. And I think you asked if you could make a box with them. Absolutely. I can't see any reason why you can't be making boxes with these. Okay, they are absolutely beautifully. I think once you've folded them, maybe if you have a couple of layers, even once you've done your folding, I think they'll absolutely hold up for boxes. And given the 12 by 12 size, I mean, that just means you can be making really large ones, doesn't it? So we saw this pearlescent one. So this is pearlescent, as is this one. Now this is really hard for me to show you the pearlescent. See how easily they come away. There's no excess for you to have to cut away, but this has that pearlescent finish to it, which is absolutely stunning. And I love that we can fussy cut all of these out. As I said, you've got I think you've got 4 of each design in here, and they're all double-sided. Now this one, oh, can you see the gloss there? I've got a light behind the camera, so I'm just trying to catch it. I catch it when I don't expect to. There we go. You can see the gloss on there. Now, I know that people were asking about how Elizabeth got that glossy effect on the bird, and she answered it. She said she uses glossy accents. With these papers, let's get that at the right angle. You don't have to. Can you see those ones in the middle? There, they've already got this clear gloss over them, but the rest of the paper remains as a matte paper. So they are absolutely stunning. You've got your daisies there as well. Let's flick through to some others. Look at these. Aren't they so beautiful? The colours, the bees. Do you love bees? Do you love Great British Sewing Bee? Maybe that's your thing at the minute because, you know, it's still bees. But look at those. I hope you can make those out. All those bees. They're very subtle on this one. A perfect backing paper. Now, just for 5 minutes, I'm going to run through all these products really closely for you so you can see everything. We also have these beautiful grasses and reeds in there. And then on the other side, we have some more florals. These are slightly small. I'm going to pull each one out. Slightly smaller florals. Look at those. Aren't they gorgeous? They're just absolutely beautiful. I love the quality that you get. Now, I'm going through these. Oh, you can see where I've used some bits. The 6x6 papers are exactly the same papers, scaled down. Okay, same finishes as well, so I don't need to show you all of those. We've got beautiful blackbirds in here. We have got gorgeous, this one has, let's take one of these out because again, pearlescent. So we've got these beautiful berries just subtly in the background here, and then we have these florals. Now this is a pearlescent. I just wish I could show you the pearlescent. It's very hard to show you. It's got like this shimmer in the background, which is beautiful. It really is. And then we have the green. This is I don't know what you'd call it. It's not a mint green. It's darker than that. It's a gorgeous, almost a vintage green there. Really beautiful. You've got all of your images on here as well. And then you have the paler side with the snails on. Now that's a selection of the papers here. You've got lots of different ones in there. There's a pack, in that pack there's 40 in total. And like I say, they are 150 GSM. So let's pop that to the side. Same with the 6x6. I'm not going to go through it all, but you can see that you've got everything that we have in the 12x12, but they are scaled down. So again, with those bees there, you can see the gloss on them. Beautiful. And then the stamps. So we're going to go through all of these pieces. So the stamps are stunning. I love my new camera look. I can bring things really close and it actually focuses much better, rather than going whoop in and out focus for you, making you dizzy. So you can see here, we've got the bees, so the 2 honeybees top and bottom there. We've got butterflies as well. We've got a moth, we've got a caterpillar, and then we've got, of course, that blackbird. Now, these are all, although I've been using them, these are all clear stamps. So you need your acrylic block or your stamping platform. They are the most amazing quality you would not believe. And then we've got the florals as well. And I'm actually going to just take this off so you can see those, because we've got a pattern on the background. Actually, if I move those around, you can see, can't you? Look at these. Aren't they stunning? stunning. So, so pretty. Let's bring that down a bit so you can see. Gorgeous. And the fern leaf there as well. We're going to be working with these for my next demonstration. I get to play. Yay! Now, the washi tape. Now, washi tape is something that I've had for years and years. And it used to sit there. I've finally started taking it out because washi tape is tearable. So you can tear it. It has an opacity to it. There's a slight opacity, so it's got the transparency as well. Look at those bumblebees. They're not bumblebees, they're honeybees. They're gorgeous, aren't they? So there's one of the tapes, and it's repositionable as well. Now, you can use washi tape just to hold your dies down, but I think that's a bit of a waste when it's so pretty. Definitely putting it on your card. You can use it to hold your layers. You can just use it for decoration. You can use it to seal envelopes as a pretty accent as well. So then we've got those gorgeous florals on there as well. Can you see how beautifully transparent this is? So the colour fades. It's very, very subtle. You could layer these up. You could actually have these in strips as a background on your card. They would look stunning. And then this one, I just need to find the end of this one. There it is. Very easy to peel off as well. We have got on this one the daisies, so there's lots and lots of daisies bunched together. Now, the beauty with washi tape is that you just simply tear it, so it comes away very easily. You can just tear the amount that you want and stick it on somewhere. So that's the washi tape. All comes in one pack, so it's not a choice. And of course, again, the packaging is absolutely beautiful. With Craft Consortium, I'm always wanting to just use the packaging as well. That's something I need to do a whole CraftWorld live on video on is just packaging. And then we have these dots. I'll just take it out of the packaging so it doesn't shine quite so much for you. So we have the gorgeous enamel dots. They're all adhesive for you. So we've got that clear glue on the backing. And these are absolutely my favourite ones. I'm hoping you can see the colour in them. They're almost like a mirror finish, but a rose gold to them. They are so beautiful. They really are. I think the camera just does not do these justice. They are stunning. They're better than any liquid drops that you could possibly get, I think, because these really do have that high shine and that perfect circle. So they are the brand new products. Shall we dive straight into my demonstration, my first demonstration, the second demonstration of the day? And I'm going to be using these stamps. So I've got here a piece of watercolour paper, because I'm going to be colouring with watercolours, and I'm going to be using these stamps, so the beautiful florals. And when you stamp these, you see they are absolutely, the detail in them is amazing. So just sticking that to an acrylic block. You can use a stamping platform, but for this I'm going to be working around my circle. So you can see there, hopefully, I've just with a pencil, I've just drawn a circle. Oh, my lights, there we go. We've just drawn a circle for you. And I'm actually going to be using, I'm not using that one, I'm going to be using this one. So VersaFine, a brown ink. The reason I'm using brown is because I don't want it to be too harsh. I want it to be nice and in keeping with the other tones. So all the backing papers, the colours, everything's going to work well together. So I'm just going to follow the line of this drawn circle with the stem here and press down. There we go. Look at that. How gorgeous is that for a stamped image? Beautiful. I love this. I really, really do. Now I'm going to do 2 of these. So another one again this side. I'm trying to keep this circle reasonably symmetrical, but I'm not worried too much. I want it to be a wildflower circle. So I want to make sure it's not perfectly symmetrical. There's some little bits going out here and there, making it look really, really natural. So popping this back in. I love as well with Craft Consortium that you do get these coloured backing papers, so you can really sort of see what's going on. You can see what sort of colours you could be making it. I'm going to go for different colours for some of these, but it gives you a starting point, doesn't it? And along with those backing papers as well, that really gives you some ideas. So now what I'm going to do is I've inked the next one. I'm actually going to join the 2 stems together, slightly overlap them. So bring those flowers again, following the line of that circle. I'll see this coming together. So it's over on CraftWorld. I understand we've got some problems at the moment today, but usually everything's up and running absolutely fine. We have videos just like this, demonstrations like this, explanations, just like this. So if you haven't already been over there, please do pop over. We've been making some changes to the site recently as well, making it as easy as possible for you to guide yourself around, find everything you want to find. The inspiration is amazing. We have people like John next door joining us on CraftWorld, and he's joining us from next week, so on the 1st of July. Keep an eye on CraftWorld for that, because that's really exciting. But also we're going to be having him over on the CraftStash Facebook page. So either way, you can catch him and his live demonstration next week on the 1st. So keep an eye out for notifications for that. So now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to take my insect images, I don't want to say any one in particular, and I'm going to start filling in the gaps. Okay, so I don't want too many that look similar. So that bumblebee is going there. I'm going to put the larger butterfly in the larger gap as well. Let's put this one there. So you can see how that's really starting to build up. Just got a couple more bits to do. I'm going to take the smaller ones now. So these stamps, aren't they just beautiful? The images are stunning. We'll have a close look at all this stamping in just a moment. Let's just put that butterfly there. And then I've got one more. So I've got the smaller one, which is actually a moth, I believe. This one up in this corner. So you've built the entire wreath now. And do you know what? Even so, if this wasn't coloured in, I think it looks absolutely beautiful anyway without the colouring in. So you can carry on building that up. And just a tip for you, if you're thinking, so I'm thinking here actually I've got a little bit of space. My stamps are a bit big to fill that in with anything additional. This is where your enamel dots come in. Once you've coloured it, if you're going to colour it, just scattering a couple of enamel dots in the spaces where you feel you need them, that's going to help you fill that space and look absolutely beautiful. Give it a little bit of shine as well. I would say bling, but it's not really blingy because it's an enamel. Now I'm going to colour this in because it's on watercolour paper. I'm going to use my watercolour pencils. So I absolutely love the Aqua Blends from Spectrum Noir, and looking at this pack, which one is it called? Earth Tones here. The colours just work so well together. So just taking, I won't do all of this. In fact, I want to show you that stamping before I get colouring. Look at those beautiful images. Aren't they just amazing? And bear in mind, this is on watercolour paper. This isn't even on smooth cardstock. It's such a pretty effect. I love these. I've actually got some other effects with this that I'm working on showing you soon too. They're going to be really fun. Next Friday, in fact, this stamp, I'm going to be showing you different ways of inking it and stamping it and getting the most out of your stamps without necessarily spending a lot more money. So there's a little hint as to what's coming next Friday. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going to use my red colour, and I've just gone round there, the outside of the petals. I'm going to do some yellow in the middle. And again, you can use the images that are actually either on the papers or on the stamp as a little bit of inspiration for you. Now, I find it easier if I colour everything first in pencil and then just go in with my water. It saves going backwards and forwards. But I'm just going to colour a small area here for you, just so that you can get the idea of what I'm doing, and then we'll go to one that I have already coloured and cut out, because you don't need to see me colouring everything in. So what I'm going to do, once I've coloured everything in, and that's leaving lots of areas, as you can see the insides of these petals blank, and then I'm going to take my water and I'm just going to dissolve those pencil marks and drag that colour down, leaving the edges still darker, but bringing a little bit of colour down to the middle of the flower there. And then with the leaves, you're just going to again dissolve that colour. Now I've got lots of green on the leaves, and what I wanted to do as well was very lightly just drag this colour around also, so away from the leaves. It's very subtle. I need a little bit more water there, so just give my water brush a little bit of a squeeze. There we go, little more water. And you can lift up any excess if you want to as well with a kitchen towel or something like that, because I didn't want too much of the white paper showing afterwards. So now if I just show you that, can you see that effect? So I've got that pale green around the edge, and then I've got the pink flower in the middle and the green leaves. And I would do this around the whole image. So let me show you one where I have coloured it already. Obviously I've stamped it, I've coloured it. And then the next stage is cut it out. So fussy cutting it out. And that's here. So let's get this around a similar way for you. There we go. So look at that. This as a topper on your card is beautiful, and that's just come from that one stamp set so far. It's going to make a beautiful, beautiful card, isn't it? I mean, it could also be a photo frame. It could be a mini album cover or page, scrapbook frame as well if you like scrapbooking. Something on chipboard maybe. If you've got chipboard wreath, it would look equally as beautiful. So let's bring in, I've got some brown ink and I've got a card blank. I'm going to start adding this now. You can see now how I got that the pencils work so well with the colours of the papers. Okay, those deep earth tones are beautiful. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get a large pair of scissors, probably not as large as that actually, these ones will do. And I'm just going to distress the edge of my paper. Now there are paper distressors that are tools made for this job. Personally, I find scissors do the job perfectly, but with scissors just be very careful because they are open. So if you're younger or you have any dexterity problems, maybe get someone else to give you a hand. Okay, we might have all sorts of ages watching today because I know a lot of the children are still at home. My children they're lovely. They go and walk the dog for me at 1 o'clock on a Friday, and actually they've grown to quite like it. They don't argue too much, which is good. So all I'm doing there is dragging the paper or the blade of the scissors along the paper, and you see I get that ruffled up look. It's a little bit making it look a bit like frayed fabric. I'm just going to do this around the edge. Now I can do this because the Craft Consortium papers are a white core. They're such a good quality that the colour on top doesn't crack or crease or anything, but once you reveal that white core, it is stunning. It really is. Now you can be embossing these papers and sanding them back, or you can be doing this to the edge of your die cuts if you want to. So maybe if you have nesting dies, but you only have the straight edge ones and you want to then be thinking about distressing the edges, you can be doing this after you've die cut it. So there's lots of different techniques using these. Just brush along the edges there. So once I've done this, I've now got a white edge, but I want to make it a little more vintage, even more so, by adding some brown paper, some brown ink. Just pop those scissors way out of my way because I am the clumsiest person ever. So don't forget, I mean, we've got lots of deals running across the bottom of the screen there for you. While I'm inking this, just dragging this ink into the edge of the paper there. To bring that white core down to brown. I just want to tell you, so we've got a deal of the day, of course. Every day we have a deal of the day over on CraftStash. Today it is the Everyday Journaling, a Fresh Start Planner Bundle. So it's usually $19.99. Today it's down to $14.99. So if journaling is something you're thinking about getting into or you already do, absolutely check that out. And we do have a deal of the day every day, and the best way to keep on track of what these are is simply to go onto CraftStash and to sign up for the email. So every morning you'll get an email to your inbox telling you what the deal of the day is, but also letting you know about any shows we've got coming up, what's coming up on CraftWorld, what brand new products we've got. So it's a little bit like a little hint towards the Facebook Live and all the details and offers and things I give you, but every single morning. I'm only able to tell you what's happening on a Friday. You want to know every day, so make sure you're signed up for that. So you can see there, by now putting that beautiful paper onto the card base, we've got this edge that really stands out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some foam tape. Now this is one that I get from CraftStash and I adore it. It's a really wide foam tape. It's around about 2 or 3 millimeters thick, I should think. It's about that. It's really chunky and I love it because it gives me lots of dimension. But also, if you know, with backing tapes on tapes, that doesn't make sense, does it? Backing tapes, they can sometimes be a little bit of a pain to lift off. Look at this. How easy is that? Lifting up the edge and peeling it back. So simple. So onto a square card base, which I think is around about, now I just check this. Yes, it's a 7x7. I know that pad is a 6x6. It's a 7x7 card base. That's right. I cut this panel to 6.5 by 6.5 inches. So centimetres wise, that's just over 16 centimetres, that panel. And then this is going to sit in the middle. But what I wanted to do was add this colour in just into the centre there, but of course that's a really irregular shape. So to know how to cut that exactly, what I did was I turned it over. Let's just take a piece of paper so I can show you quite easily here. So I turned this over, and then I also turned over, say we were cutting this side, I'd turn that over as well. So we're working on the back of the pattern paper and we're working through the back. And I drew through this blob here in the middle, just with the pencil. And then I cut around the edge of that pencil line. And when I've turned it over and turned this over, I then end up with a blob, but the blob fits perfectly. Okay, so just give that a wiggle. There we go. So that then fits beautifully inside there. Now what I'm going to do is I want to make sure this is positioned so that these two bees here are kind of diagonal, so that there isn't too much overlapping the card at all. So I just need to lift that up. Again, I'm going to bring in my pencil, okay, and just quickly draw around the edge, because I'm going to pop this down. Whoops. Let's see, this is the joy of doing it live. You get to see the mistakes. Now, usually I use my CraftStash glue. Absolutely love my CraftStash glue, but I have run out, so I need to order some more. So for now, I've got another glue that I do also really like, and that's the Sizzix one. So I'm using the Sizzix. It's really quick drying, this one actually. So that's on the website. I noticed it's only £5 for this huge bottle, and this would last me a long, long time. So that's on CraftStash also. So just gluing that down there. It doesn't have to be a wet glue. If you prefer tape or tape runners, then you can use that. And then I'm going to come back in with my foam tape again, and I'm going to put this down in as many areas as I can without it being seen. So through the centres, like so. On this edge, hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I forget I have that banner across the bottom there, could be blocking what I'm doing. Now I do have another demonstration for you. I understand we've only got 15 minutes left. I'm going to whiz through that one as well for you, so you get lots and lots of demonstrations. So please do keep watching. I do have the winners to announce as well. If you're commenting, you're all in the hat as such to win a selection of these brand new Craft Consortium goodies, which is really exciting, and I will announce those as soon as I've finished my second demonstration. Some of those winners will be from Facebook. If CraftWorld is up and running now, we'll have a winner from there as well, so I'll have to wait and hear from the people working, I want to say backstage, but it's my living room, so I don't have a stage. But you see what, behind the scenes, I'll wait to hear from them to see whether we have our winner for there. Look at that. So there's the card. Now, I could put a sentiment in here. I could do lots more to this. The only one other thing that I'm going to do is put on some of these beautiful enamel dots. Now, the best thing, I'm just grabbing my pokey tool here. The best thing to apply these dots with is absolutely your pokey tool. Now I love this colour. I just can't get enough of it's almost iridescent, because there's so many colours running through it. So these pearls, look, they just stick on there. These enamel dots, aren't they gorgeous? So there's another card for you. Isn't that beautiful? I think much like last week, I'm going to overrun a little bit this week. This is the problem when I'm demonstrating. I have too much to tell you because I absolutely love these products. Shall I jump straight in and do another demonstration for you? I'll try and make this one very, very quick. So for this one, I need to take At Home in the Wildflowers. Okay, so the absolutely gorgeous 12 by 12 papers. I'm going to choose, probably my favourite ones is this one with the bees, or the honey bees in there. And these are those bees that have that gorgeous enamel on them. or the gloss to them. It looks like someone's gone in to every bee with some glossy accents or something like that and given them a little bit of a coating. But the rest of the paper is, of course, matte. So if you want to be stamping in the background, that's absolutely fine. You don't need a special ink for that. Now, there's some measurements with this card. You may have seen it before, but I absolutely love doing it because it's so simple and effective. So what I will do is I will post to the, or I will ask lovely Maria to post to the CraftStash page the template for this, or the measurements for this later on today. So if you want to make one yourself. So you do need to start with a 12 by 12 paper. Now I have a scoreboard here. And you need to be scoring, so you need to be scoring at 3 inches from the left. Okay, now this is 150 GSM cardstock, so you can press quite hard, just don't go too hard because you don't want to go through it, but I think it's such a good way and such a good quality. So I've gone 3 inches in from the left, 3 inches in from the right. I'm just going to turn this 90 degrees and do exactly the same, so we're creating this cube shape. Okay, like so. So what we now need to do is just mark at the 6-inch mark, just on the very edge. Now you can do this either with your score tool or you could do it with a pencil. So I'm doing it with a score tool. I'll probably regret this. I'll probably not be able to find my little mark later, but we'll see. So now what I do is I come to the very last scored dip there, or score line, gully, whatever you want to call it, on the edge of your scoreboard. This is the easiest way of doing it. And line up one of the halfway marks that we just marked with another one next to it, okay, and you need to score that diagonally, okay. And the reason I use the edge one is it's much easier once you come into here. If you're lining one up and think, right, I'll go in the 10-inch one, coming down here to find which one it is can be a little bit tricky. So I'm just going to work my way round, doing all 4 edges from that halfway point to that halfway point again, okay. And there, so this doesn't take too long to put together. And as you're scoring, what you should be finding is that you're crossing here. There's a cross here and you're going through the middle of that as well, and that way you know everything's lined up. But if you're starting with your 12-inch paper and you're measuring at the 3 inches either way, you should be absolutely fine. Okay, so now lastly, very quickly, you also need to just score on each of the 3-inch squares that you have now scored. Try and find a way so you can see the score lines, that's probably best. If you've got a 3-inch score line here, you'd need to score diagonally across. And again, using the outer score line there is the best way. If you have something like a trimmer that has this gully for the blade to run into, some people use that as a scoreboard as well sometimes. Or if you want to, you can just use the typical ruler and your embossing tool if that's the way you like to do it. Everyone has their preference, don't they? And there are lots of different ways of doing everything. You don't need to necessarily have a huge scoreboard, but they do come in handy for things like your boxes and your fancy shaped cards. There we go. So we've got the score lines. Again, like I say, all of those measurements, I will be popping a template over to Maria so she can put it on the CraftStash Facebook page later on today. Now, what we need to do is we need to fold everything. And I find the best way to explain this is just to fold every score line, both backwards and forwards, because that way you've got the flexibility in each score line. I just did that one a little bit wrong, so I'm going to go back and do that again. Got a little bit off there. But that way, whichever way your score line needs to fold, it will have the flexibility to do so, okay? And you can really strengthen everything with your bone folder once you know the direction everything's going. So that's my original lines that I did there. And then I'm going to do my diagonals. Again, I'm just going to go backwards and forwards. I'm going to whiz through this. Now don't forget, we've got a few more minutes to get your names in the hat for winning a selection of these brand new Craft Consortium goodies. I'll give you a very quick overview again if you've just joined us, because they are absolutely stunning. This is one of the papers. So at the end, I will come back and have a look at the stamp sets, the papers, the washi tape, the enamel dots again. We also have over on CraftWorld, if you can catch up with us later on there, we're going to have another huge giveaway. That's going to include this selection and the circus selection. Now I will quickly show you that in a little while as well. Now, this is where you'll need to think about which side of the paper you really want to have showing. Okay, I want to have the bees showing, I think. So what you need to do now is, if you've got everything flexible and scored, is bring in these corners to the centre. So I'll bring in that one to the centre, and what you'll see as you work your way around, as you bring the next one into the centre, that then lifts everything up. And can you see you've got almost... It's a bit like a napkin, isn't it? And you can push that down. Okay, let's bring this edge into the centre, and the same happens on this corner. It just automatically finds its own way, which is so much easier. Now I'm just going to take, I did put it away on my scoreboard, bear with me. I'm just going to take my bone folder and quickly flatten those edges, because they are now exactly the right direction where they need to be. And lastly, I'm just going to pull out those corners that we scored as well. There we go. And again, if you want to, you can go in and you can now smooth everything down. But this paper is such good quality, there's no tearing of the score lines or anything like that. So now we've got this beautiful card base that you can open up, and as you open it up you can have inside there a gorgeous message, and these papers are just absolutely stunning. Now I have already started one here, and I've started to decorate it. So I've got this here, and just inside, let me take my little pieces out. Inside here I've opened it all flat, and I've started to decorate with some yellow. So it's the beautiful bumblebee. They've got bees. I keep saying bumblebee, they're honeybees, aren't they? I'm not very good with bees. I hope there's no beekeepers watching, you'll be completely embarrassed by me. So I've just taken that and I've cut some triangles, really easy to do. If you just do your measuring again, so your 3" by 3" squares, and cut that diagonally, you'll have triangles that will perfectly fit these areas. Each triangle I've gone around with a brown ink, again, just to finish that off, to make it not look quite so flat. And then I've taken a wet glue. Okay, so just a little bit of wet glue on the edge, and these are going on alternate triangles. I'm not covering every triangle because I really want these glossy bees showing through. And what you can do is you can maybe fold this all in, open it up and mark with a pencil which bits you want coloured and which ones you don't. So they are those triangles done, and then in the centre I've got a 6 by 6 pad that I've just taken barely a centimetre off all the way round. So ink around the edge of this, and I'm going to do the same. I'm just going to wet glue it into the centre there. So don't forget you can catch up with this on YouTube because I am overrunning a bit. So if you do need to shoot off, if it's your lunch break maybe, if the dog needs a walk, whatever it may be, you can catch up then. But I will be announcing those winners very shortly. We've got about 5 minutes to the end of the hour. We've got a really fun show next week. It's just me, but it's some of my picks, which I'm really excited about. So lots of demonstrations. Be prepared for that one to overrun as well. These hours, 1 hour shows, are turning into more like 1¼ hours lately, aren't they? But I'm having so much fun demonstrating for you. But I am looking forward to getting back in the studio and having some live guests with me. Hopefully it won't be too long. So I've got the centre there, and what I'm just going to do as well is bring in a couple of flowers. Now these have been cut from a paper. You can almost see the pearlescent of this paper, but I've fussy cut them. I do enjoy having a little bit of a fussy cut. I sat in the garden earlier this week with the sunshine and just sat fussy cutting, and it was absolutely lovely. Really, really therapeutic to do that. So, and a little tip for you actually, if you like fussy cutting, I have found the best scissors for fussy cutting are actually embroidery scissors. So if you can get your hands on some of them before they've touched any fabric or threads, embroidery scissors are so sharp, they have the finest point on them. So maybe try and grab yourself some of those if you want to try fussy cutting, because there's so many different papers and things out there, and also it helps with your stamping because you can then cut those out. So you can see that I've just decorated the inside. Now we can be stamping a sentiment, we can be putting maybe one of those dynamics sentiments that we saw the beautiful Elizabeth using earlier in her demonstration. That would sit perfectly in there. Also those square dies would as well. If I just close this up now, when you give that, you don't want to sort of hand it to someone like this. So you want to probably put it in an envelope, but you want them to have the pleasure of opening it themselves. So the best way to get around this, I think, is using a wrap. Now, because we're using 12 by 12 paper, we can easily create our own wrap that perfectly fits. So I actually cut this to make it a little bit longer and long enough to fit all the way around and have a bit extra. I actually cut, if I show you from this piece of paper, I cut down the centre, okay, so diagonally, rather than cutting across the 12 inches, because of course when they join, that's only just going to be a 6-inch circle there, isn't it? So 6-inch in width. So I cut a strip from the diagonal centre of one of these papers, and that gave me a strip a little bit longer to work with. So as you can see, I've just overlapped the ends there, and I've still got a strip that is just about 6 inches wide there. So I can then tuck this over. This is a wrap. You can either make it so it's got Velcro on or something, or you can glue it together if you want to. So just going to slot this over here, just making sure. It's probably much easier with Velcro, in all honesty. I've always made these sealed, my poor recipients. There we go, slot that over. Look how beautiful, that just holds that all in for you. You can make it a bit tighter as well if you want to, or even a magnet maybe would work. Then I've taken another piece of paper and I've gone round this in that brown ink again. So I'm just going to run some ink around here, around the edges. Not ink, I apologise, some glue, some wet glue. Stick that down, and just to really finish this off, now I've taken this bee, and I'll show you where this bee is from. It's absolutely beautiful. I did stamp one. I don't know where he's gone. I did stamp one initially, and I coloured him in, and then I saw this one. I thought, oh, you're even larger. That's come from the packaging there. Look, he was sitting there quite happily and I've cut him out, but that's what these are intended for. So absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous elements that you can be putting on. Now I'm going to put this on just by gluing the body. I'm not going to do any more. So another minute or two and I'll be announcing the winners. I'll have to check my phone. I'm sure I've got a message there with all the names on. I don't get to choose them myself, so it's a surprise for me as well. And I've got another smaller element there that's just for the bee to be hovering towards. Tuck that under him. There we go. So then we've got that wrap over the top and that box card that lifts up. So they're the two that I've done today using this gorgeous collection. Now before I move the camera upwards, I'm just going to bring in another collection for you, because over on CraftWorld, I know we've had a few issues today. I think there's been so many people trying to get onto CraftWorld that you've kind of overloaded the system. So we will be back with you as soon as possible on there if it's not already up and running. But over on CraftWorld, as soon as we are, there is another competition. Now that is going to be to win the brand new At Home in the Wildflowers, designed by Katie Putt. That collection that I've just been showing you throughout the hour. Also, this collection here. Now we are looking again at stamp sets, 2 stamp sets there. We have got embellishments as well, metal ones. We've got the chipboard ones as well. We've got another stamp set there. Sorry, 3 stamp sets. It's amazing. Now we've got the adhesive pearls here, and they're little star shapes. We've got the circus papers. Again, we have all those different finishes. I love these. I think they are so, those balloons have a gloss finish to them. So we have these. We have the washi tape as well. Now the washi tape is the thin one. I love a thin one, especially for journaling. We have the travelling circus there. Hopefully you can just see the carts and the horses. And then we have the tickets as well. Now I will quickly lift this up because It's all available on CraftStash as well if you're absolutely loving this. Look at those tickets, aren't they just so much fun? And then we have the 12 by 12 paper pack as well. That is all available as part of the price, and some other paper packs. So for that prize, at the end of this hour, go and pop over and see CraftWorld. And don't forget to join CraftWorld as well, because over this week we have also John Lockwood. He is joining us. So John next door, he's joining us over there. He's brand new to the family. We can't wait to greet him. We can't wait to see what his demonstrations are as well. So finally, I think I almost made the hour. I've only overrun by a few minutes. Go me. So we do have a winner from CraftWorld, which I'm really pleased about. So I hope everything's running okay over there now. So now last week, I need to just read this message actually. Excuse me. So last week there was a CraftWorld competition to win a complete set of hot off the press. I don't know if you joined me for that show. That was a really fun show as well. That was a really busy one. The winner of that, so that was over on CraftWorld. So we do have your username rather than your full real name, but you'll know who you are if you're watching. The winner of that was at Mad Sock Monkey. That is a really fun name. I love that name. So congratulations, you have won that hot off the press prize. Now, if you pop over there, you've got a week, and next Friday I will announce the winner of this large Craft Consortium bundle. But for today, from the Facebook post earlier this week, the winner of some of the products is Caroline Brown. Congratulations, Caroline. You have won that. So we'll either contact you or you can send us a message on the CraftStash Facebook page and we will sort out getting that to you. Now, from today, I hope you're all still with me and watching. I keep checking the time. It really has gone too. So today we have the winners. It is Claire Lou Parker. Congratulations. I remember shouting out hello to you earlier. We have from CraftWorld watching and commenting. We have Mrs. Stationery 08. Fun name again, but you'll know who you are. And then we have, so I always get your name wrong and I don't know whether you're Helen or Helene Denny. Congratulations. Again, you'll know who you are. Send us a message and we will get that over to you. So like I say, next week it's myself and some really fun products. So this is a really exciting one, talking about how to get the most out of your products without spending an absolute fortune. So it's kind of almost a bargain hunter sort of show next week. So please make sure you join in for that. We'll have huge giveaways as always. This week, don't forget, John Next Door is joining us on the 1st of July over on CraftWorld, but also on the CraftStash Facebook page. Make sure you keep up with everything that's happening on both the Facebook page and at CraftWorld. I look forward to seeing you. Please make sure you are keeping safe in the sun or the thunderstorms, whichever it may be. And I will see you again next week. Have a lovely weekend, everybody, and happy crafting.